This is Mr. Alexander, and I want to talk to you about writing in standard form in SI units of measurement. First off, standard form, you may know it as scientific notation. On the IB Math Studies exam, you can always use a calculator, so the easiest way to convert any number into standard form is to simply change the mode in your calculator from normal to scientific. And then when you type in the number, 135,600, it's going to convert it to scientific notation for you. So here, that 1.356 e to the fifth, or E5, the way you need to read that is 1.356 times 10 to the fifth. If you write the calculator notation on the exam, they're going to give you no points. You need to convert it to this form right here. And it works with decimals too, 0.23 times 10 to the third. That's simply 2.3 times 10 to the second power. And so that's the easiest way to write things in scientific notation. So if you are given a series of numbers and you're told to write them in ascending order, what I recommend you do is first convert these numbers into a form that you're familiar with. So you've got 2.3 times 10 to the sixth. That's simply, if you switch back into normal mode, that's, let's see, 2,300,000, and that's that one right there. This next one is 340,000. The third one, using the calculator, if you just type it in, is 2,100,000. And then the last one is 2,150,000. Now once you have it in numbers you understand, that you can comprehend, you can simply just number them. So this is the smallest one. The next smallest one is this one. That's the second largest. And of course this is the largest. So if we're writing them in ascending order, the smallest one goes first. Number 3 here is an actual problem taken from an IB exam. This is a paper 1 question here. It says, assume the Earth is a perfect sphere with a radius of 6,371 kilometers. Calculate the volume of Earth in kilometers cubed. Give your answer in the form of A times 10 to the k, where A is between 1 and 10 and k is an integer. In other words, write this thing in standard form. So the big thing to remember here, and this is in your formula chart, that the volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. And in this case, the radius, r, is 6,371. So I'm just going to plug that directly into the formula and then directly into my calculator. So we've got 4/3 pi, then r is 6,371 kilometers. Math 3 for cubed. I'm going to hit enter. And you'll notice that even though I'm in normal mode, it's writing it in standard form for me. And the reason it's done that is it's a very large number. And when calculators get very large numbers, they just automatically go to scientific notation. So it wanted us to give this answer in standard form anyway. So I can just go ahead and write it down. It's 1.08. Now, on the IB Math Studies exam, you're either going to want to write all of these digits or round it to 3 significant figures. I'm just going to go ahead and write it in 3 significant figures. So 1.08 would be your significant figures times 10 to the 12th power, like that. The volume of the moon, in part B here, is 2.1958 times 10 to the 10th kilometers cubed. Oops, forgot my units here. This is definitely kilometers cubed. And calculate how many times greater in volume the Earth is compared to the moon. Give your answer correct to the nearest integer. Well, the way we can do that is the larger one divided by the smaller one. We know the Earth is larger than the moon. So we're going to do 1.08 times 10 to the 12th divided by the number they gave us for the moon, 958 times 10 to the 10th. And the units will cancel out, so I'm not even going to write them. Kilometers cubed cancel out with kilometers cubed. 1.08 times 10 to the 12th power. I simply want to divide that by 2.1958 times 10 to the 10th power. And I'll close that up. And it's just about 49. It says round to the nearest integer, so the nearest integer is 49. So I can say that the Earth is 49 times greater in volume than the Moon. In other words, we could fit 49 moons inside of the Earth. Okay, that's all I want to talk about in standard form. I also want to talk about unit conversion here, and I figure we'll just do one of each of these. So you might have your own method of doing this, but whenever I'm doing it, the first thing I like to do is draw 7 boxes. So I'm just going to write that on the top of the paper here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to go ahead and write in here, just for the sake of argument, meters, because that's the one we use the most frequently. Put kilometers over here, millimeters in here, and then you've got to fill in the rest. So centimeters, decimeters, decameters, and hectometers. And I'm just going to pick one of each of these to do. Maybe, let's see, I've got some time. I'll do more than one. Let's do part B here. Convert 35,802 meters to kilometers. So meters to kilometers is moving left. And when you move left, you need to divide. And I always get that wrong, so I'm just going to write it down here. Left is divide, right is multiply. Just so I remember. Okay. Left is divide, right multiply. So I'm going to take that 35,802 and I am going to divide it by, so this is just standard units, it's not units squared or anything, so I'm going to use a 10. Since I'm going to meters for 2 kilometers from meters, I'm going over 1, 2, 3. So this is 10 to the third. So this is exactly what I need to type in my calculator. 35,802 divided by 10 to the third power. That's going to give me 35.802 kilometers, but it says to round it to the nearest kilometer. So it's going to round up to 36 kilometers. Alright, let's do one where we're moving the other direction. So grams to milligrams. Pretend like all these m's here are just g's, and then we can use the same chart here. So if that's grams, and I want to go to milligrams, I'm going over 1, 2, 3 to the right. Now moving to the right is multiplication. So I know I'm going to multiply by 10 to the something. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to multiply by 10 to the third. And when I type that in the calculator, 0.654 times 10 to the third, then I've got 654, but it says to write it in standard notation. Well, 654 in standard notation, if I just simply switch to scientific mode and then hit enter, it writes it for me, 6.54 times 10 squared. But don't forget your units here. That's in milligrams now. Alright, so that's standard units. Let's talk about square units and cubic units. So I told you to change all these 3's to 2's here, so I'll just do that real quick. Squared, squared. Okay. A, B, and C are supposed to be squared. Alright, so let's do meters to centimeters. So that would be over 1, 2. So moving right, that's multiplication. So I'm going to do 5 times. Now since it's squared, I'm not doing 10, I'm doing 100. And to the power of meters to centimeters. So 1, 2. 100 squared. Whatever that is, When I type it in my calculator, oh, and I'm supposed to do it in scientific notation or standard form, so I'm going to go ahead and leave my calculator in scientific mode. When I type that in, 5 times 100 squared is 5 times 10 to the 4th. And the units in that is centimeters squared. Alright? What if we were moving from millimeters in part C to decimeters squared? Well, then I would take that 3.5 million, and moving to the left is division. It's in square units, so I'm going to use 100, and I went over 1, 2, so I'm going to square it. When I type that in the calculator, 3,500,000 divided by 100 squared, well, that's 3.5 times 10 squared. And the units on that is decimeters squared. Alright, let's just do 2 more, then we'll be done. Let's do cubic units here. Let's move from meters to millimeters. So meters to millimeters is to the right. So I know I'm going to take that 255, I'm going to multiply it. And what I'm going to multiply it by is not 10 or 100, it's 1,000 now, because we're in cubic units. And moving from meters to millimeters is 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do 1,000 cubed. And it still wants it in standard form, so I can go ahead and just type that directly into the calculator. 255 times 1,000 cubed is 2.55 times 10 to the 11th. And the units on that should be millimeters cubed or cubic millimeters, however you like to say that. Alright, let's do one more and then I'll be done. Let's move from hectometers cubed to decameters cubed. Actually, let's do the other one because we already moved right. Let's do part E here. From meters cubed to decameters cubed. So that's moving to the left. Meters to decameters is to the left. 1. So I know I'm going to take that 12,000 and I'm going to divide it by 1,000 because it's cubic meters. And I'm going to divide it by 1,000 to the first power, because from meters to decameters is one hump, one jump. So when I type that in the calculator, I'm getting 1.2 times 10 to the first power decameters cubed. Alright, that's it for standard form and SI units of measurement. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.